Ever feel like you need, I don't know, a super-powered brain just to keep up with everything changing around? Especially, how we try to relax. It can feel like a bit much sometimes. So that's what we're here for, this deep dive. It's your shortcut. Cut through the noise, get you well-informed, but without that feeling as if we... Today, we're digging into the Consumers 360 news commentary from June 20, 2025. It's curated right from the consumers.app website. Think of it as a snapshot of what's buzzing in the consumer world right now. We'll cover quite a bit from personal well-being, technology, all the way to the bigger economic picture.
Yeah, and the real goal here isn't just to list headlines. It's about connecting the dots, spotting the patterns, understanding why this stuff actually matters to you. We want to give you those aha moments.
Okay, let's jump right in. First up, this headline from Rolling Out caught my eye. Why AI workout plans might be more dangerous than helpful. So let's unpack this. AI workout plans, they promise this incredible personalization. That's the big sell, right? How do they actually do that?
Oh, absolutely. Personalization is key. Basically, these AI plans crunch a ton of your data. Think wearables, fitness apps, your past activity, how your body responds. The AI analyzes all that constantly, and it uses machine learning to tailor the workout routine specifically to you, your fitness level, your goals, even adjusting things in real time.
Real-time adjustments, huh?
Yeah.
That sounds powerful. But okay, here's where it gets really interesting. If the AI is so good at that, what are the hidden dangers? What happens when there's no human coach watching over things?
Right. That's the crucial part. The big risk is that AI, it lacks intuition. It can't see that subtle wince when you favor an old injury or sense you're just having an off day, low energy. So it might push you too hard, suggest the wrong intensity, maybe even bad technique, and that can lead straight to injury. Plus, there's the whole data privacy angle. These systems are collecting incredibly sensitive health information about you. How is that being used? Is it secure? Those are major ethical questions.
Yeah, the injury part in the data. Serious concerns.
Definitely. But it's not all bad news. Actually, recent studies are showing AI can be a fantastic tool for human coaches. It can automate admin tasks, provide personalized feedback based on data. Most coaches see it as augmenting their work, not replacing it entirely. The human element, that oversight, is still seen as vital. So there's a big push for, clear ethical guidelines and better AI literacy in the fitness world.
Okay, so it's a tool, not necessarily a replacement. What about specific research, like that GPT coach study? How does that help us understand AI's role here?
The GPT coach study. Yeah, that's a great example. It showed how AI, using these large language models, can offer really personalized coaching. It integrates things like motivational interviewing techniques with your wearable data. What was really promising was that people felt comfortable sharing their concerns with the AI. That's huge for effective coaching. And we're also seeing apps use what's called symbolic AI. Think of it like AI that follows very specific rules, almost like a recipe. It helps interpret guidelines from, say, the World Health Organization to give really precise, tailored exercise advice.
Okay, that makes sense. So pulling this together, what are the big ethical questions we need to keep asking about AI coaching? And what are the practical hurdles, the challenges still out there for getting AI smoothly integrated into fitness apps?
Ethically, it boils down to a few key things. Transparency, how does the AI decide what to recommend? Data privacy, how is your info protected and used? And the potential displacement of human coaches. Again, human oversight seems absolutely critical, practically. The challenge is finding that sweet spot, getting the personalization right without risking safety or privacy, balancing the AI automation with the need for human intervention, especially for complex health needs, and honestly, just building user trust, making people feel comfortable with how their data is handled.
Right, trust is huge. Okay, let's switch gears a bit. This next one from the Philadelphia Inquirer asks a question probably on a lot of minds. Will AI take your job? The answer could hinge on the 4 S's. So what are these 4 S's that supposedly give AI an advantage? And how do they really translate to, jobs disappearing or changing?
Okay, the 4 S's. They stand for speed, scale, scope, and sophistication. Speed is obvious. AI processes data way faster than us. Scale means it handles massive amounts of data all at once. Scope is its ability to apply its skills across many different areas. And sophistication refers to its advanced problem-solving capabilities. Now, how this impacts jobs. It means AI is really good at taking over repetitive, data-intensive tasks. Think manufacturing, data analysis, customer service basics. Sectors like those are seeing significant shifts.
So it's automating the routine stuff?
Exactly. And this is contributing to what economists call labor market polarization. You see a divide growing. AI tends to automate lower-skill jobs, while it often enhances high-skill jobs. Think complex analysis, strategy, creative work. There was a comparative study looking at India and the US, for instance. It highlighted this trend. Automation hits low-skill jobs harder, potentially increasing wage inequality. Developing economies can face a sort of double vulnerability, job losses, and difficulty adapting to the new tech.
That makes sense. What about generative AI specifically? Things like ChatGPT. How is that changing job roles and the skills people actually need now?
Oh, generative AI is a game changer for skills. People need to know how to use these tools effectively. A study looking at U.S. job ads found a whole new category of skills popping up related to ChatGPT. Things like just general familiarity, knowing how to use it for creative content, for marketing, understanding more advanced stuff like prompt engineering, even using it for programming assistance.
Prompt engineering is becoming a real skill.
It really is. It shows demand for both technical know-how and creative application. And again, it's useful to distinguish between AI that automates tasks, potentially reducing jobs or wages in some areas, versus AI that augments human abilities, which can create new kinds of high-skilled jobs and boost wages there.
Can you give some concrete examples? Where are industries like, say, software development or healthcare actually using generative AI right now?
Sure. In software, tools like GitHub Copilot are actively helping developers write code, debug, and test much faster. It's become quite integrated. In healthcare, it's being used for things like analyzing medical images, speeding up drug discovery processes by modeling molecules, and even helping to personalize treatment plans based on vast amounts of patient data. Really powerful applications.
Powerful, yes, but that brings us back to ethics, doesn't it? What concerns are bubbling up as generative AI gets used more and more widely?
Absolutely. There are quite a few. Intellectual property is a big one. These AI models are trained on huge data sets, often including copyrighted material. So who owns the output? That's a legal minefield right now. Data privacy is always a concern when you're dealing with AI processing information. And then there's the potential for misuse, creating deep fakes, spreading misinformation. Generative AI can make that scarily easy and convincing.
The deepfake issue is worrying.
It really is. It highlights the urgent need for clear rules and regulations to make sure this technology is developed and used responsibly.
Stepping back for a second, how does AI, as a sort of general-purpose technology, compare to big historical shifts like, say, electricity or computers? Is it on that scale?
Many experts believe it is. Like electricity or computing, AI is seen as a foundational technology. It's not just for one specific task, it's driving innovation across almost every sector. Its ability to simulate human-like perception, to learn and adapt, makes it incredibly versatile. It can be applied in manufacturing, finance, healthcare, entertainment, everywhere. That broad applicability is what gives it that transformative potential, similar to those earlier huge technological shifts.
Okay, let's shift focus dramatically now. Moving from tech to culture and beauty. This headline comes from India Today. The new Indian beauty standard, what you should know. What's really interesting here, apparently, is how these evolving beauty standards in India are actually pushing the cosmetics industry towards sustainability. What does that look like on the ground?
Yeah, it's a really positive trend. There's a growing emphasis on sustainability within these new beauty ideals. Consumers are demanding it, and brands are responding. This means a big push towards eco-friendly packaging, ethically sourced ingredients, and more natural or organic formulations. It's part of a global shift, for sure, but it's having a distinct impact within the Indian market. Less plastic waste, more transparency about where ingredients come from.
Are there specific innovations happening?
Definitely. We're seeing cool stuff like using biosourced materials. For example, researchers are looking at things like fungal chitosan derived from fungi to create films for hair conditioning. It's effective, natural, and biodegradable, so less reliance on traditional synthetic chemicals. Plus, ongoing work on biodegradable packaging options and improving sustainable sourcing practices for raw materials.
That's fascinating. What about the health side? What does research say about common cosmetic ingredients? And also, how is inclusivity playing into these new standards?
Health-wise, there's been growing awareness and research highlighting potential risks of some older synthetic ingredients, things like parabens or phthalates, which some studies suggest could be endocrine disruptors. This concern is really fueling the move towards natural ingredients. There's a call for more transparency in labeling and stronger regulations to ensure product safety. And inclusivity is huge. The definition of beauty is broadening significantly to embrace a much wider range of skin tones, different body types, diverse ethnic backgrounds. It's actively challenging older, narrower norms. Brands are definitely getting the message and expanding their product lines to cater to this beautiful diversity.
That's great to hear. Now, thinking about the tech side of beauty, What are the challenges in automating procedures, like, say, laser treatments in skincare?
Automating something like laser dermatology is tricky. The biggest challenge is the need for extreme precision and the ability to adapt to each person's unique skin type and condition in real time. Human skin is complex, so research is focused on developing robotic systems that can mimic the dexterity and sensitivity of a skilled human practitioner. The goal is to ensure treatments are consistent, safe, and maybe even more accessible eventually.
Makes sense. So ultimately, what are the main benefits of using more natural ingredients in cosmetics for both people and the planet?
For consumers, the big benefit is often a reduced risk of skin irritation or allergic reactions. Natural ingredients tend to be gentler. For the environment, it's a double win. It supports biodiversity if ingredients are farmed sustainably, and it means fewer synthetic chemicals potentially polluting waterways and ecosystems. Plus, brands focused on naturals often embrace other sustainable practices like ethical sourcing and eco-packaging, which is good all around.
Okay, let's move into personal health data now. This next one's from AOL. Experts say this is what your heart rate should be when you walk, these run. Pretty fundamental question here. For adults, what is a normal resting heart rate, and how does exercise naturally affect it?
Right, the basics. The typical resting heart rate for an adult is somewhere between 60 and 100 beats per minute, or BPM. When you exercise, naturally your heart rate goes up, your muscles need more oxygen, so your heart pumps faster to deliver it. It's a normal, healthy response. Interestingly, though, highly trained athletes often have significantly lower resting heart rates, sometimes down in the high 30s or low 40s. It's a sign of really efficient cardiovascular function. Oh, and related to exercise performance, there was a clinical trial on citrulline malate supplementation. It didn't really change heart rate during exercise, but it did seem to lower diastolic blood pressure afterward, which could be beneficial for people managing hypertension.
Good to know. So how does technology like machine learning fit into tracking exercise intensity using heart rate?
Machine learning is becoming quite sophisticated here. AI algorithms like random forest classifiers or k-nearest neighbors can analyze your heart rate data, particularly after exercise the recovery rate. By analyzing these patterns, the AI can actually predict your exercise load level. It helps quantify how strenuous the workout was and estimate your energy expenditure pretty accurately. It's like getting detailed feedback without needing complex lab equipment.
That's clever. But what about getting that heart rate data? I know video technology is being explored. What are the challenges there, especially during intense workouts?
Yeah, estimating heart rate from video, like just using a camera, is promising but tricky. The main problems are things like your face being partially blocked, maybe by hair or sweat or turning away, and just severe motion blur during really intense activity makes it hard for the camera to lock onto the subtle skin color changes it needs to track pulse. But there are newer AI models being developed, like one called IBS-CNN, that are designed to work better even with these challenges, often without needing to track the face directly. So progress is being made.
Okay. And a term we sometimes hear is tachycardia. Can you just clarify what that is and how it relates to exercise?
Sure. Tachycardia specifically refers to a resting heart rate that's above 100 BPM, so when you're not exercising. While exercise does increase your heart rate, sometimes quite high, that's expected. Tachycardia at rest, or a heart rate that jumps way too high for the level of exertion during exercise, could indicate an underlying issue and might be something to get checked out by a doctor.
Got it. So for our listeners who run or are active, any practical tips for keeping their heart rate a bit lower or more controlled during exercise?
Yeah, a few things can help. The biggest one is improving your overall cardiovascular fitness through consistent training. A stronger heart works more efficiently. Staying well hydrated is also really important. Dehydration makes your heart work harder. Practicing deep, controlled breathing during your run can sometimes help regulate your heart rate too. And finally, try to increase your intensity gradually during a workout rather than sudden bursts to avoid sharp spikes in heart rate.
Good practical advice. And you mentioned advancements in non-contact monitoring.
Right. These video-based techniques are getting better. They allow for heart rate tracking without needing a chest strap or watch, even if the face is partly hidden or during intense movement. This is super useful in sports science, but also potentially in healthcare settings where contact sensors might be difficult or uncomfortable for patients.
Okay, for our final segment, let's shift to well-being and travel. This headline from the Daily Express announces the world's most relaxing city for a holiday named full list of top 10. Turns out it's Cape Town. So what makes a city like Cape Town top a global list for being relaxing? How much does its natural environment play into that wellness reputation?
Oh, Cape Town's natural setting is absolutely key. It's dramatically situated between mountains and ocean, with Table Mountain National Park right there. This gives immediate access to incredible nature hiking trails, scenic walks, beaches. That connection to the outdoors is inherently calming and promotes both physical activity and mental well-being. It's a huge part of its identity. And the city has really leaned into this, fostering what's described as a soulful and sustainable wellness culture. Think eco spas, holistic treatments, sound baths, even using local African botanicals and rituals. It's all about blending well-being with nature and sustainability.
Soulful and sustainable. I like that. Are there scholarly perspectives on how cities can integrate this kind of holistic wellness effectively?
Yes, there's growing academic interest in this. Researchers are developing frameworks to look at how wellness services like accessible green spaces, community programs, eco-friendly spas actually impact community health and overall urban sustainability. The focus is often on making these things accessible and integrating them into the very fabric of the city's planning, not just as luxury add-ons. Things like sound baths, using sound frequencies for meditation, or rituals with local plants are seen as valuable tools within this broader holistic approach to urban well-being.
And these eco spas you mentioned, does research show they actually work in promoting sustainable wellness?
Yeah, the research suggests they do make a difference. Eco spas consciously use sustainable building materials, renewable energy sources, and water conservation techniques. They often source local organic products for treatments and really emphasize environmental responsibility alongside personal relaxation. So they model and promote sustainable practices while providing wellness services. And again, having something like Table Mountain as a backdrop just enhances that connection to nature they promote.
It sounds amazing. So looking at the bigger picture, how could other cities learn from Cape Town's approach? How might they apply these principles to boost their own wellness culture?
I think other cities can definitely take inspiration. Key steps would include prioritizing and creating accessible green spaces within the urban environment. Think parks, community gardens, greenways. Also actively supporting local wellness businesses, especially those committed to sustainable practices, and encouraging tourism that respects the local environment and culture. It's about weaving wellness and sustainability together to benefit both residents and the planet.
Wow. Okay, that was quite a tour. We went from AI coaches in job markets through evolving beauty standards and heart rates, all the way to relaxing in Cape Town. We've definitely covered a lot of ground today.
We really did. And hopefully that's the takeaway, getting these quick, insightful updates, spotting those connections, and maybe having a few aha moments along the way, things you can actually think about or use.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive. And here's a final thought to leave you. As we see just how fast technology and global trends are reshaping, well, everything, how will you choose to engage with these changes? How can you use this awareness to genuinely boost your own well-being and your understanding of the world unfolding around you? Like, share, and subscribe Consumers 360 to stay well informed.